Hello, Renee. I'm sorry I'm late. It's all my fault. I'm really sorry. I've been busy recording some videos and creating some content for upcoming events, and I've been talking a lot recently about artificial intelligence for SMB, how they are going to leverage that and implement that, all in preparation for the B2 SMB event that we are going to have in Chicago in October.
I cannot wait.
You're coming
Yeah,
for sure, right? Of course you're coming.
I am absolutely going to be there. Yes, yes. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the lineup, and the B2 SMB team always puts a really good event together. But also, AI continues to change so quickly every day on how SMBs leverage it. I leverage it a ton in my tea shop for my
You
website.
see? You
Yeah.
see?
Because things that I still have to pay some of the SEO optimization people, but there's other things like there's something called ADH compliance or ADA. It's for people that maybe are visually impaired, um,
Ah,
and I have an AI that then scans the website to make sure that my website is compliant for people that have visual impairments. And that's something that you know I would have never been able to do without an AI. And it's like, what do you do in those cases? So your pictures or any images that you have on the website need to have descriptions that those people with those types of challenges can they have equipment in their own browsers or settings in their own browsers that then reads descriptions to them because they can't see them, but they can hear just fine, right? So things like that, it's just amazing, all of the different things that AI is helping me do as a small business owner, and I'm really excited about that. So I can't wait to
I
learn more.
I read recently a research by McKinsey about the
Okay.
artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
Not it wasn't actually no, it wasn't a research about artificial intelligence. It was a research about the small and medium business,
Okay.
and they focused on the challenges that as small and medium businesses have with productivity. The biggest
Okay.
challenge, it looks like, for the small and medium businesses around the world, because they've done
Mhm.
a very detailed research. And thanks, Jill Sweeney, for sending me the research. By the way,
Jill's
I'm
amazing.
really,
Yeah.
I'm really appreciated for that. So,
Mhm.
the real challenge is the productivity. So, in some of the countries, the productivity gap in the US, productivity gap in some areas of business is as big as 50% between the small and medium businesses and the large corporations.
Mhm.
uh, so obviously, if SMBs could close this gap, that would McKinsey says that would add additional 5 to 10% to the country to US GDP. So you can
Wow.
imagine massive amount of money,
Yeah.
and a
Wow.
huge growth.
Mhm.
So any policy that will enable SMBs to be more productive, any technology
Mhm.
that will enable the SMB to be more productive is going to be, amazing and it's
Mhm.
going to drive business results. And you are one of the examples where
Mhm.
your productivity is significantly
Yeah.
improving because you can use artificial
Correct.
intelligence. Okay.
Correct.
So I think AI is going to be one of those kind of moments in life
Mhm.
when the SMBs that will deploy artificial intelligence in any aspect of their operations and
Mhm.
gain this productivity. I mean, when you were working for large corporations, there was a person that was scanning
Yeah.
those web pages and
Yeah.
fixing that, right?
Yeah.
But as an SMB, you cannot hire a person for everything.
Mhm. Correct. Correct.
But you can hire artificial intelligence to do this kind of stuff for you, and this is one
Yeah.
of the examples. Rene. And I'm really excited about the conversations that we're going to have in Chicago,
Mhm.
because there will be a lot of experts in artificial intelligence. There will be a lot of companies that know how to empower and support the small and medium businesses. And
Yeah.
obviously, the discussions will be how do we inject AI into different aspects of the small and medium business support, and how can we
Mhm.
drive the, the faster the faster adoption. Yeah,
Yeah.
very excited. I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
Uh, Today we are talking about another. Sorry. What about yourself? How are you doing?
I am doing great. The consulting business is going really well, which I'm very grateful for. And it's funny because even there, I was thinking as you were talking about I use a software application or a web app that uses AI in multiple ways. But one of the things it does, it really looks at, it allows me to really personalize the coaching to an individual or a team because the AI will do some of the assessment evaluations much quicker than I could do it individually. In the past, I used to have these different spreadsheet tabs with these different results and, very fancy formulas to create some graphs for me and give me some analytics. Now the app does it all kind of instantly and it provides me with, then I can very quickly, instead of creating the data, I actually can focus on helping to coach that person or that team. So I was over there in the AI as you were talking. Other great things have been happening with our tea business, and that's growing, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, everything's been good. I missed you. I saw that you were windsurfing, something I would never do, and then you got on some electronic thing that had you hovering over the water. And again, that's
Levitating. I was levitating.
levitating. Yes. So
That's
that
how
looked
they call it.
exciting, but scary. Yes, you were levitating. So good for you. Yeah.
It's called eFolio, and I learned it. It was actually amazing because I've been doing windsurfing for many years, and I
Uh-huh.
also do rock climbing, which gives me this kind of a maybe a little bit better balance, generally
Hmm.
speaking.
Yeah.
So I was very quickly able to grab the concept of eFolio, which is basically
Okay.
you press the button and then the little electric engine starts to accelerate the board
Oh my
and it
God.
just goes above, and when it goes above the waves then you need
Mm.
to just stabilize it, and when you stabilize you kind of a levitate
Fly.
above
Yeah.
the it
Yeah.
was super cool. And actually tomorrow 7 o'clock in the morning I have a train to Haupe to hell. uh, Maybe to
Okay.
try it again. Either
Yeah.
there will be a win for windsurfing or there will be no wind and I'll go for eFolio to try it out. So
Wow.
it's going to be super fun.
That is very interesting. I wish I had your sense of adventure. I mean, I'm adventurous, but I don't like risk. So I'm very, very conservative.
You are
Um,
in your own
yeah.
way, Renee. You
Yes.
are, and you are an inspiration to many people. You know that very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Today we are talking about the production leadership, Renee.
Level. Well,
Um,
let's actually remind people, right? Some folks may not have seen our prior two episodes related to this. So we are covering John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership. There we go. And we've covered 2 levels already. Today we're going to cover level number 3. We covered positional leadership, then permission, and today we're going to talk about production. But this is a leadership, as those of you that follow us know, is very close to both of our hearts because we've led very large organizations. But also, we've had our own experiences with being led in large and small organizations, depending on our stage in our career. And, we believe very, very sincerely in the fact that people deserve to be led well and inspired and respected so that they can bring the best of themselves to work, right? And yes, AI might make us more productive, but today we're going to talk about production from a different level and productivity from a different level, and that is really very dependent on you as a leader to create the right environment for your people.
yes, production leadership. And this is the definition by Magic and Renee, joint definition, agreed definition. It's something that it's a type of a leadership that is focusing on achieving results and driving performance.
Mhm.
And it's not only about the performance that you are delivering today, but it's even more about the performance that you used to deliver in the past, your track record, your
Yeah.
credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, people follow you because you are effective.
Hmm.
Effective boss.
Hmm. Yeah, you're effective. You have proven throughout time that you deliver results with whatever in whatever area you're in, and based on your leadership styles and how you bring people together, right? And you see this in large brands like Apple and Nike, and so you see this in the commercial space with consumerism, right? We follow some brands and we love some brands because they have a track record of being innovative or being of high quality, and that's the same thing that happens with human beings, right? You develop a brand and a reputation for delivering. And that's why other people gravitate and trust you to take them to a level where you can perform.
They want to be part of the something successful, and this is
Hmm.
obviously a very natural thing, right? This is
Yeah.
something that I also want to be a part of something successful. Every time I put my effort, I put my energy into something, I want to know that the person that is kind of in charge
Hmm.
is able to steer me towards the right place, yeah,
Hmm.
the right results. So what I've done is I tried to list a couple of oh, I'm sorry. Good day to both, said Barlala.
Oh, thank you, Bar. Good morning. Oh, I'm not in the comments thing. Okay, let me see. Yes, now. Good morning. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
I
And thanks
almost
for
missed.
the sessions. We love doing these sessions. For those of you that don't know, we don't get paid for any of this. We do this
No.
because we love what we do. We love sharing with other people the data and the proven right information out there, but then also apply a layer of our own experiences with what's in the books, with what's in the research, and help to answer questions around that for those of you who take the time to listen to us. So thank you.
Yes, and on this is very interesting because Renee, I had a couple of conversations with the universities in the
Hmm.
US,
Hmm.
given some of the kind of programs that we are putting together with B2SMB Institute,
Hmm.
and everybody is talking about, and I'm not going to make it right. It's called
Ex-
experiential
yeah.
learning,
Yes,
right?
very good. Yeah, you did it right. Yeah, you pronounced
I'm,
it correctly.
I'm struggling with this word, but it's learning through experience.
Hmm.
Okay, so the universities are starting to are appreciating way
Yeah.
more the fact that something is a real life experience.
Hmm.
So some of the ideas that we are putting in front of the students is the real time cases of the small and medium businesses they can help to solve, and this
Hmm.
way they can
Yeah.
learn the business as opposed to trying to solve something that was the highlight of the last couple of decades, which was some kind of a use cases or business cases that were either made up or from the far past. It's a real time example. So what we are
Yeah.
trying to do to bring here together with Renee to everybody listening to us is basically, hey, here's what the book says. Here are the theories, the very good theories that we
Mhm.
believe are impactful, and here is our experience that proves that those theories are right. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So when we look at the production leadership, Renee and I, we started to look at the different behaviors that will actually help you uh, to gain this production leadership, this following uh, from your organization because of your ability to deliver results. And surprise, surprise, the number one is to be results oriented. So results outcomes, and that starts with the results for yourself, but also ability to agree on the outcomes or goals for your organization, being able to understand what needs to be done, inspire people for the results, and also then set the bar for everyone so they understand what are the results that they need to drive. Correct, Rene?
Yeah, and this is an interesting topic, and I get a lot of feedback from leaders or even individual contributors that they complain about the famous KPIs or the key performance indicators or metrics. People get very frustrated sometimes when they're managed by metrics, but honestly, what you don't measure doesn't get done. That is proven time and time again. There's data behind that. I'll use a very simple example. We're in the Olympics, which, by the way, I'm so excited, and I love seeing the different teams. And congratulations to Poland Magic. Poland has medaled in a couple of different events, and also Germany. So my friends from Germany, I send you my big congratulations to. And imagine, right, doing an event like the Olympics and not being able to have a scoreboard or the scores that track, right, how these athletes are performing, how long is it taking them to mountain bike or swim or shoot a target in whether it's with the bow and arrow or the different types of competition. The New Zealand rugby team, which I posted about a few days ago, right? Rugby has a scoreboard. So if you look at every sport out there, they have a scoreboard. They need a way to keep track of the results so they can understand if they're accomplishing or achieving what they're setting themselves out to be. So I would tell you that it's exactly the same in business. You need a scoreboard. You need the KPIs. You need the metrics, um, because otherwise you
Leaderboard,
don't know.
sometimes the
Yeah.
leaderboard, right?
Yes, you need the leaderboard.
With the
Otherwise,
best.
you don't know.
In the sales organization, I think not having a leaderboard, I think it's, I mean, but you need to be, I'm always a little bit, I want to be balanced in kind of
Yes,
the message I give. It's, I'm not a big fan of driving everything through the cutthroat competition, because
correct.
the leaderboard, the KPIs have to recognize both the individual and the group performance.
Correct.
Okay. Because at the end of the day, it's the question of, yes, it's important how many sportsmen and sportswomen from a given country achieve, medals, but it's also the group result that will
Right.
make it even more, um, more visible and successful. Yeah, that will
Yes.
make the organization successful and also build a certain following and a certain kind of appreciation, and then trickle down the organization, the whole country,
Hmm.
to inspire young people to go and start competing. Yeah.
Yes.
So results oriented KPIs. I think we could have another long sessions about
On just that.
publishing
Yeah.
good KPIs, because not every KPI is a good KPI, but
Correct. Hmm.
uh, I think this is what we could do. Leading by example, Renee, I think super
Hmm.
important, because once you established, what needs to be done, roll up your sleeves and start doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 It's funny. I'm consulting with a company now, and it's about outbound. I'm consulting with a team that's responsible. We need to increase their outbound calling, right? And one of the things that I'm starting to do is actually call out myself, right? Because it's that lead by example. Because there's a fear and certain myths, and it's like, just pick up the phone, right? It's just people on the other line. But the whole lead by example is so important, right? And it's important to show people that it doesn't matter what level you're in. It doesn't matter if you're a consultant or not, if you're a permanent, it just lead by example. You don't have to be a person in leadership. You can be in a peer group and maybe have more experience that some newer employees, right? And it doesn't have to do with age. It means, maybe you were in a different industry. One of the wonderful reps that we just hired in this company, she was in a completely different industry than technology, right? So it's not that she has a fear of calling, she has a fear that she doesn't have the sufficient subject matter knowledge to speak intelligently, right? So there's different reasons why people might be afraid and hold back. And that's why it's important that we kind of lead by example and help them through and understand where is that fear coming from that's holding them back.
Yes, but the other aspect again, like the balance feedback. When you are trying to lead by example, don't fall for leading by taking job away from your
Yeah.
employees,
Don't
which
micromanage.
means micromanagement, right? Leading by example doesn't mean stop, let me take it over and let me
Right.
call because you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the
Correct.
topic, you know. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see that your employee is making a call and he's not acing it,
Yeah.
the idea is not necessary to take over the call and show him how to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe call another customer
Correct.
and show how this is being done and let
Mm-hmm.
then the employee follow the lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
learn from you instead of you picking the phone and doing his job. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a very difficult moment. Leading by
Yeah.
example versus micromanagement is a kind of a fine line between the two that people need to recognize and be careful with.
Yes.
Building momentum, Rena.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like once you build the momentum, like this, when the stuff, it's not easy to start, but then
Mm-hmm.
build the momentum. It's gonna carry you forward. I think in one of the sessions we spoke about the momentum building in one of the
Yeah.
laws.
Yes. Correct.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we spoke about building momentum. So,
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, so there's the whole kind of a episode on building a momentum in one of our. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it also in my my timeline. If you want to go back a couple of weeks ago, we had a
Yeah.
discussion on that.
Yeah. Now it's my turn to be balanced there too, right? Momentum can sometimes hide um, some of the issues that might be coming up, right? We see this with very large corporations or with a team after they've won a really big deal, right? They might have
Uh,
won a record size deal and everybody's so caught up in the momentum of that or they'll keep winning other deals again because they have now a reputation of being a strong team or a product team that's really good at doing what they're doing. So customers buy into. But and I think about companies like Boeing, some of the big banking companies, IBM at one point in time, even though right now they're in a great position. But you've got some of these really large companies that had great momentum, and that kind of allowed them to continue to succeed. And because they were being so successful, they forgot or they stopped being as disciplined as they used to be in terms of processes or quality control or some of the measures or the KPIs that got them there, right? So I think it's something that we need to be very also cautious with.
that is very correct. Like when things go well, a lot of things are hidden behind,
Hmm.
and then when it's starting to be a difficult moment, and sometimes things fall out of control. You need to be
Hmm.
careful with that. That's very
Yeah.
true. Problem solving, focus on the problems, not on the people. Look for
Yeah.
solutions, be a good friend and a good peer and a good coach and mentor for your team, for your organization. I think
Mhm.
it's important to again not micromanage, but step in and remove obstacle, suggest solutions, work on the solutions, focus on problems
Yeah.
as a boss.
Yes. And always stay humble, right? You can always be better. This is another important reason why there's always a problem to be solved is basically my point, right? You might be like getting great rave reviews on your product, your solution, your customer service, but you can always be better. So always be
Absolutely.
problem solving.
Team development. I mean, that's like Captain Obvious a little bit, but I- but
Yeah.
on the other hand, you and I, we've met leaders that were not really much focused much on the
Hmm.
team development. They
Yeah.
were very much on focused on managing up, not managing everybody else and helping everybody else in the
Hmm.
organization. So uh, you're not going to get good results long term. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be that you are very, very effective by driving people nuts, but then don't expect that they will. I mean, you might still achieve results, but you're not
Yeah.
going to achieve the following from your organization. People will not like working for you.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm. Hmm. Well, and just remember, right, that the the team is an organism. It's a living, breathing organism. And when you have a team member, let's say that they go out on maternity leave or paternity leave, or they get married, or they go out even on vacation, right? Like I always, I'm going to say it again, and those who have worked for me outside of the US know this very well about me. I always used to be a little jealous, but also a little bit like of the 2 months of vacation in Europe, right? I'm like, 2 months in the IT industry is an eternity. And the team dynamic can definitely change within 2 months for whatever reasons, right? But the point being, when a person leaves for an extended period of time, and I'm defining extended as more than a couple of days, right? Which could be for a lot of reasons. This could be illness, it could be planned vacation, but the team dynamics change. So you constantly have to make sure that your team is healthy and emotionally intelligent and very aware and empathetic and ready to adapt to any sort of situation.
Did you say 2 months maternity leave?
No, 2 months vacation. Oh no,
2 months vacation.
maternity. I remember maternity leave in some countries it's a year. In the U.S., actually, in some
Oh,
companies it's 6 months. But I remember, I think Canada and some of the European countries provide
Poland,
up to two
1 month,
year,
1 year.
1 year. Yeah, yeah.
1 year,
So
1 year in Poland, you get 1 year of, and I think it's 14 months if you take paternity leave as well. So
mhm.
if mother and father share, then you get 14 months, and if
Uh-huh.
it's only one of the parents, then they get 12,
Yeah,
uh, and it's paid 12 months, and then there's
yeah.
another 2 years unpaid that you can take.
Which, by the way, I think it's great, right? Because you only get the opportunity to shape your child in that moment, or once per each of per child. So that, and what we do in our lives, the most important thing we do is create great humans, right? Ideally, so it is absolutely um, a worthy cause, but how it relates to, thank you, Barletta, 1 year mom and then 1 year dad, that would be great, right? But what happens is it changes the team dynamic, and you want to make sure that your team is resilient. Another thing that I used to love about some of the practices in organizations that I've been with or that have worked with is they build a culture of gratitude, and also like recognizing other peers. I think we're going into that one next. Recognizing people for their, not necessarily always with money, but really recognize, creating this environment where you really acknowledge your teammates for being fantastic at whatever it is that they do and bring to the team, right? Like magic with you and me, right? We're a team, and you have really taught me so much about StreamYard and how to use AI to make better, faster slides, and how to make sure that the lighting and the sound and just things that I would have honestly been very overwhelmed by, because I'm not super technical. I'm just technical enough to be dangerous. But a lot of these things also don't interest me, so I don't bother. But you're like, no, Renee, do this or do that, or try this sound, or try this lighting, or get a proper green screen. Right? And so those things really help me, and I appreciate you so much, because I wouldn't be able to be as good as I am today without your coaching and your gentle prodding.
Thank you so much. And 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 uh, and rewards and recognition is something that, like Renee did at the moment, is it's a very good skill to have, because what she has done, if you did listen to her very carefully, and if you didn't, then rewind and listen again. She recognized me publicly in a very, very specific way. Okay, that's how you should do that, publicly in front of everybody, and then say exactly what you appreciate about this or that employee. And I had a conversation with a one business leader here in Poland recently, and he was like, hey, Magic, you know what? I have some challenges with my team, like how can I improve that? One of the recommendations that I gave to him was actually do more of the recognition and don't be afraid of this. So I gave him a little bit of a recipe, how he should do that and what he should, and guess what? He actually executed on that. He had this kind of an event, and then he actually pulled a couple of employees for his company, from his organization, and recognized them publicly on the stage. And that was recorded. So he did show me the recording, and I said, well, what do you think? He said, well, I gave them the recognition and I gave them a Swiss watch and this and that. and I said, and you know what was the most important? Because I spoke to his employees later on. It was not the Swiss watch. It was, you pulled them out, and they were actually completely amazed that he pulled them out of the audience and he publicly recognized them. And he actually said exactly, and especially with one of the employees, he was super precise about what he appreciates about this person. And this person was, I mean, she was very happy with the watch. Don't get me wrong,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
Still get the
it was
watch.
a nice present.
Yeah.
But the highlight, when I've asked her about how was the event, she was like, did you know, Magic, that he actually invited me on the stage and he said those such a good things about me. I didn't realize how much I am being appreciated, and
Right.
for those couple of things that I do, because I always try to do that, but I never thought that this is being appreciated. And that has made such a difference, generally speaking, and do it more and more often, because as a leader, this is not the money that you're going to spend and that's it. Like the recognition is the money that almost never ends. You can recognize as many times as you want and just do it in the right way, and that's going to pay back and empower you to do more recognition. And recognition will do one more thing, which is super important. It will tell everybody else what are the values, the behaviors, the achievements, the results that you appreciate, and everybody will know, and they will follow that kind of a concept as well. They will be
It
trying to do that,
replicates. The
because
behavior replicates. Yeah.
they will be trying to be recognized as well. So
Yeah.
this is a super important.
Yeah.
Last but not least, accountability. So that's, I think, again, super important. Hold not only others accountable, but also hold yourself accountable for your performance. Follow the metrics, and if you are not delivering, then you need to be doing something about it and being transparent about it. Transparency is another kind of area that is super important here.
Yeah, and again, we're being very balanced, right? So I think it's important to highlight to all of you who lead people, and even for yourself, but hold yourself accountable in a productive way, right? It's important for you and for your people, right? Accountability does not mean humiliate people in public, or humiliate yourself, or chastise, or correct someone in a very negative, disparaging way. You can hold someone accountable based on the data and on the results in a very respectful way. I think that also requires that you create an environment of trust, where people trust that you are holding them accountable, or holding each other accountable in a manner that's respectful of what you each bring to the table. And in order to do that correctly, you have to have clear goals, which is what Magic talked about earlier as well. So it's important that accountability is done. I've seen accountability be very misused, and so this
That
is
is very true as
important.
well. That is very true as well. So reward and recognize publicly, but if you want to kind of a drive, improvement discussions, have improvement discussions, I think it's much better to have them in one-on-one setting, not kind of trashing people in front of other people. that never pays off. You're not
Mhm.
the great guy, like the because you told of one
Yeah.
of your employees. This is not gonna make you stronger.
Mhm.
And it might work because you're gonna make everybody afraid of you,
Mhm.
but long term, it's not gonna
Yeah.
be worth that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So that was the production leadership. We're gonna meet again next week
Mhm.
to talk about the next level, which is a people development level.
Yeah.
And today, thanks everyone for listening to us. For those of you who are
Yes.
following us on LinkedIn and gonna watch the replay, send us messages and questions. Parlara, thanks for joining us today. And
Oh, that's a
see
great
you in
comment before
another.
we go. Yeah.
You are very right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, Barbara, for being so active today. We really totally appreciate this and
Yeah.
your input into the discussion. And
Yes.
everybody else, if you have any comments, anything, let us know. We open here, and we'll speak to you next week.
Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.